Well, hello and welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Media Day as we get ready for another season. Looking forward to hearing from Clarke University. Let's start off with introductions. Jake, go ahead and introduce yourself, name, hometown, and year in school, please.
I'm Jacob Fierst from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm a senior this year.
Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself as well, name and how many years you've been head coach there.
Sure. Jim Blaine. This is my 9th year as the head men's basketball coach at Clarke and 10th year at Clarke overall.
Coach, let's start with you. Go ahead and tell us about Jake and how much he means to your program.
Sure. Jake obviously had a outstanding season last year. First team All Heart, and I think he's the best post player in the league. Certainly the best in terms of back to the basket and playing a true 5, although he can stretch it a little bit. I think what he does is he's our emotional leader, and mostly in a positive way, right? Like last night's practice was outstanding, but it started with Jake being that emotional leader and making sure we were in the right frame of mind to put our 2 hours in. So, I think that's what he brings to it. It's not just it's not the 20 points and 10 rebounds, although those are helpful. It's the emotional leadership that he can bring. And when he does that, we're pretty good.
And Jake, let's get to know you a little bit. What's your major and, what are some career plans for life, maybe after Clarke?
So right now I'm studying sports management. And then, so after Clarke, I haven't decided yet because I do have my COVID year. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. And my dream is to play overseas basketball-wise. And then my backup plan, either help my dad with his little trucking business that he has back home or stay in like the sports field with coaching or something along the lines of that.
Very good. Jake, you were selected the Hart Newcomer of the Year last year. What did that award mean to you?
It just really boosted me up to know that I can play at this level. And it was just all the hard work and all those late nights and all that stuff that just put it all together.
We're going to send it over to Doug for any questions you have for Jake or Coach.
Hey, Coach. Doug Wagon. I'm the play-by-play voice of Clarke University basketball. Coach, how anxious are you to get back into the gym after the end of last season? It was kind of an up and down year, and it seemed like the team had so much promise, but you just couldn't get over the top. So how anxious were you to get back into the gymnasium during the off season?
Well, Doug, if we're being honest, the finish of the year was disappointing at best. We lost 5 of our last 6 Hart games, after going out to Benedictine and winning out there and in essence, knocking them out of the national tournament. We didn't know it at the time, but so it left a bad taste in our mouth. I've talked about this with a couple of different guys that there's some trepidation. Who are we? Are we the team that multiple times, we were down 14 to Mount Mercy with 6 minutes to go, took the lead, and then I did the 7 worst seconds of coaching ever, and we got beat. But we were down 14 with 8 minutes to go to MNU and won. We were down double figures to Culver with 10 minutes to go and won. We were down 18 at the half to Graceland and won. Are we that group? Are we that tough-minded group? Or are we the group that fell apart? And I think that's the question we have to answer. And I think it starts with guys like Jake and Chandler Dean and Tony are, 3 of our seniors and Reed Larson, our seniors that, how are we going to practice? We're going to practice hard every day and get better. And last night was absolutely fantastic. And as I said earlier, it started with Jake, but it starts with all 4 of those guys, that they were really, really good last night and had everybody focused on the right things. And so, yeah, anxious is a good word. What's going to happen the first time we face adversity? How are we going to respond to that? And then I'll be able to give you a better answer, Doug, of how I feel about everything.
Jacob, how about you?
I think I'm very excited for this year because we got a lot of guys that want to get in the gym, and I say they're hoopers. They want to be in the gym rats, always in the gym. And I feel just practice, getting better one day at a time and being able to make mistakes in practice and then correcting those mistakes, but also just doing them at 100% is like the biggest thing we got to work on.
Jacob, one of the things that I'm always amazed at your game is that you have the ability to put up double doubles all the time. What's the key, especially with your turnaround shot? How do you gain the separation that you do so you make your shots for the baseline? Have you been working on that in the off season too to improve it even more?
Definitely, yeah. Always in the gym, but God bless me some big shoulders, so that's like the main reason I get my shoulders into them, and then I'm able to get shots off from different spots.
And then rebounding's been very, very important too to your game plan, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Just so one shot possession. I always learned that when I was a kid. My dad hounded that into me. One shot, one shot. So if we get one shot, then we get another shot on their end. If they miss it, we can capitalize off of that.
Great.
Thanks, Doug.
Welcome.
Jake, what do you hope to bring to the team this season, as a leader on the floor and off the floor?
Definitely want to be a better vocal leader. Want to step into a role of guys can come talk to me off the court and on the court. Also want to be like the second person, so Coach Blaine doesn't have to feel like he's driving crazy if he's yelling at somebody, but want to like slap him on the butt, be like, here, I got you. So I can push him in a way of like a player standpoint. And then I just want to win. That's like the main thing. I just want to win so bad.
Coach, how is preseason practices going? What are some positives you've seen from the squad so far?
Well, the first one is that we shot it well. We stat anything we do 5-on-5. We're going to stat that in practice. And we were a poor shooting team a year ago from 3. Incredibly enough, we were still really efficient because guys like Jake, we led the country in free throw attempts last year. So that made us efficient. I'd rather be able to count by 3s than 2s, though. I'm not a math major, but that seemed like a good route to go. So we just shot it well. That's the best thing. And I think there's a commitment to the defensive end that we've shown here. We've really only had 3 team practices so far. And, there's a more of a commitment to that. And I think it's again, using Jake and Chandler and Tony, they were all transfers last year. The difference I see is there's I don't know if buy-in's the right word, but certainly an understanding of our defensive concepts and not, I don't want to say fighting them so much, but relearning some stuff they had learned. Everybody's got their system defensively, just like we do, and they'd played in different ones. And so it was kind of getting them to understand ours. And I see that in our first 3 days so far this year. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Today was a great day to do the interview because we practiced late last night, and it was, on a scale of 1 to 5, it was a 5. We were really, really good, and not because it was because of just the effort and the hard work, right? We said last night, you can make mistakes, but you can overcome them if you just play hard, and we just did that last night. We played really hard.
And Coach, as you progress these next few weeks of practice, head into non-con, what do you hope to see from your squad once you get into that non-con as you get through these next couple of weeks?
Well, great question. We got to get better defensively. We just have to. In terms of defensive efficiency, I think we were either 13th or 14th in the league last year. So that's, you can't finish top half of the league if you're going to do that. So there's got to be a commitment to that. And I think that the biggest thing for us, and I've said it from all summer, is we've got to be a better team. And so far, so good. We're doing a team building thing today. We are part of the demonstrators for the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association Fall Clinic. So at 2:00 this afternoon, we're heading to Wisconsin Dells, and it's a chance for our guys to have a little fun. I mean, yes, they got to go beat chess pieces, and some guys are going to have to work hard when coaches run them through some stuff, but they get to hang out together. So it's just things like that we've been trying to do more of. Because I think that connection, there's just something to be said for that, right? It's harder to give up if the guy next to you is busting his butt for you, and then you bust your butt for him. That's all cliche, but you know what? Cliches are cliches because they're true.
Jake, last question for you. You have the opportunity to continue to play college basketball, at Clarke. What does it mean to you to put on that Clarke uniform and hit the floor with your teammates?
It's awesome because just like coming from a tough area, like being so diverse in Clarke community, it's a great experience. And like people always come around and say, hey, how's it going? So it's just kind of playing for them and then playing for your team, because you see those guys always in the gym. You see those guys always working out, makes you want to be better.
Coach, last question for you. We're asking all the head coaches the same thing, but what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Heart of America men's basketball?
Great coaching. Great coaching. I spent a lot of time coaching high school basketball and thought I knew what I was doing. Discovered that there's a lot of pros, and I've gotten better because of them. So great coaching.
Well, very good. Well, Coach, Jake, thanks so much for your time. Doug, thank you for joining us, and best of luck to you guys this season.
Hey, Todd, today is National Coaches Day.
Oh,
FYI, I happened to see that on Twitter this
Yeah.
morning. So
Well,
FYI,
good day to do
happy
this.
National Coaches Day to all the coaches in the
Yes.
Heart.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Jacob, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler.